Oh, hey Bruce. Welcome back to the Lighthouse of Guiding Flames. You may remember in the last episode, we got the absolutely terrible dead end, which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. But I do have a guide here this time. As usual, my usual MO, run through the game completely blind, get the worst ending possible, and then use a guide to head towards the correct ending. Although in this case, I'm not sure there is a correct ending. There's just a bunch of different potential endings. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip through two choices. I did save it most of the choices, but they require a certain series of choices to achieve each one. So, I'm actually going to skip, because the story is quite short as well. I could probably just sit here while we skip, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to jump in, and we're going to do from beginning to end, because the choices don't really start until we're doing the beginning to end part. So we'll jump in and start skipping until we get to our first choice. It shouldn't take too long, realistically, because, like I said, it's not that long. Now, we were getting through maybe 3 days and half an hour or something. So we're going, it's me. So we're... Last time we said it's my sister, who, I think. But this time we're going to go with it's me. Ethani quickly hid one of the pins in her fist. Pain shot her through her palm when the pointy side of the pin pierced her skin. It's me. I'm the sacrifice. Self-sacrifice. Enabled. Her heavy silence fell upon the room, making it difficult to breathe. Ethani didn't know if she was allowed to volunteer as a sacrifice, but she had no other choice. Her parents wore stone masks on their face. The ritual chants of the elders reached their peak and then calmed down. Well, there is nothing we can do. Also, I'll put a link to the walkthrough in the description as well, if you want to check it out. In case you're having trouble getting to certain endings or something. Ethani. Her sister frowned and wanted to say something, but Ethani interrupted her. It's alright. I'll protect all of you, I promise. But don't say anything. I'll do it. For everybody's sake. Ethani's sister realized what she meant. Despair mixed with fear and indignation read on the young woman's face. Her hands were trembling. It's alright. I'll protect my family. And then I'm guessing we're skipping again? Yep, it's back to skipping. And then we're gonna go run away. Okay, so we're getting the yellow one. We got a few, I think because last time we went through, we got quite a few yellow ones, and then we got a bunch of red ones as well. I think if you pick all the same color, that's how you end up getting getting a specific ending. It's because we mixed them up that we got a bad ending, but don't quote me on that, I don't really know. Ethani didn't want to stay in a dirty, wet cell, even for a second longer. She craved for the sea, for the sky. She wanted to feel the freshness of the sea breeze with her skin. I can't take it anymore, I don't want to. Ethani forgot all about the curse, her family, the deity, and left the dungeon. She felt like a small bird, tiny, defenseless, with broken wings, but still thirsting for freedom. I don't want to see Straw anymore. It hurts so much. What sadist thought this up? Ethani was sneaking through a dark hallway without seeing her way. The dungeons were located in the Elder's territory, and the girl will have to escape these dungeons' lands one way or another. After that, she thought of hiding in the forest for 3 days, and find a boat if possible, then reach a merchant ship on it, and escape to the mainland. It would be wonderful. Ethani's heart pumped up from the excitement. She'll escape on a ship and see the city, a real city. So cool. Who's there? Ethani realized she just reached a half-open door. Orange rays of the setting sun were reaching into the hallway. Freedom was so close. But a number of several tall silhouettes appeared around her from out of thin air. Jesus, unthinkable. How'd she manage to escape? Hurry, get her back. The ritual's still not broken, right? Yeah, it's fine. Tall black figures looked down on Ethani. There was an evil spark in their eyes. Their faces were unclear. Did Ethani encounter monsters? Or were their faces muddy because of her tears? You gotta fulfill your duty, girlie. Don't you know what you're risking here? It's useless to talk to her. She's just a child. Can a child understand the full scope of responsibility? She's not a child, she's the sacrifice. They mature much faster than you would expect. Your personal experience? Shut up. Let's go, girl. Dolls are waiting. No, I don't want to. I'll run away. To the ship, to the city. Ethani shook her legs and wiggled, but two monsters captured her with ease and returned her to the cell with the straw dolls. And that's how we end up back here. The cell door was shut. No, I don't want to do it. Despite all her pain and despair, Ethani knew she couldn't escape. With her urges gone, the girl was embarrassed by the stupid thing she almost committed. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll continue making the dolls. I will. Ethani clutched an armful of straw, and sharp needles cut into her fingers. That was the nature of the ritual, and she couldn't escape from it. Alright, let's skip to the next choice. Everything should be the same for now. And we're actually going to save this choice here, I guess. Sure, whatever. And we are going to run away again. Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to get the yellow choice all the way through. And that means we're on the right track, you know? You're right, dolls. I don't want to stay here. Yeah, creepy dolls. You tell them. Good job. Good job, oh wise Ethani. I'm tired. I can't do it anymore. I'll get out of here. Ethani gathered her strength and stood up. But how would she get out? It was easier said than done. She'd already tried to escape on the first day, but she failed because of the guards. Were they still there guarding the exit? Whatever. Ethani will deal with them somehow. Now she needed to think of a way to get out of the dungeon. I have to think of a plan, like those fairy tale heroes. However, Ethani had no magic sword, or a magic guardian creature with her. She was alone, hungry, exhausted, weakened. The cell door was locked, and Ethani had no strength to open or break it down. Fairy tale heroes used their cunning in a situation like that. It meant that Ethani had to think out of the box too. She'd gathered the rest of the straw in the darkest corner of the dungeon, now that the straw pile looked like a person, curled up near the wall. Good. Then Ethani took the bell and called for her last tormentor, her mother. But she didn't wait near the cell bars and hid to the sides in hopes that the shadows would hide her tiny silhouette. Her mother came. She was holding a ritual dagger, and Ethani congratulated herself in her mind for making the right decision. The girl was afraid of pain and thought with terror about her mother stabbing her with the steel blade. The only thing left was for her to run. Mother went inside the dungeon looking for her daughter. She clutched the dagger even harder when she saw the straw nestled in the corner. When Mother went far enough into the cell, Ethani blew her cover and rushed toward the cell door. Ethani? The girl's legs were treacherously trembling, but her will to live awakened amazing strength. She got to the door and swung it open, trying to get outside. Ethani! What are you doing? Ethani shut the door and swiftly turned the key. Ethani! Ethani pulled out the key and stepped back, when the dagger slipped between the bars and almost hit the girl's hand. Ethani did it. She managed to escape. She's free. Ethani, I know you're scared. I am too. I'm very scared. I don't want all of this. I love you so much. Then... But we must do our best for the sake of your brother and sister. Just for them. Mother clenched her teeth. For their sake? Ethani wanted to save her brother and sister. Of course she did. However, do you want them to die? They'll die. I won't let that happen. I won't. I know, but I can't do it. I just can't. Ethani wanted to run with all her might, but lingering doubts didn't let her move. Her mother was telling the truth. Nothing but the truth. If Ethani manages to escape, her family will die. Nobody wants to die, but you're doomed either way, Ethani. The curse will get you no matter what. You can save your family. You like stories about brave heroes, right? Be like them. Be brave and fulfill your last duty. I love you so much, but I love your siblings as much as I love you. If there's a chance to save them, we must use it. Ethani took a sheepish step towards the locked cell door. Brave heroes would never run and let their family die. They'd rather sacrifice themselves for the sake of their beloved. Another step. I hate all of this, but I have no choice. There's no other way. Mother pulled at the cell door bars in despair, and then her hands went limp. The dagger's blade scraped the dungeon's stone floor. I don't want this to happen. Me too. But we must be strong and brave, Ethani. 2 more steps. Ethani was almost touching the bars, but she was too scared to move closer. The girl was filled with terror. She trembled like a sail in the strong wind. Why do you do this, Ethani? Don't you get what fate awaits them? No, I don't want to. I don't want to think. I don't want to doubt. I don't want to die. But you won't be able to leave the dungeon. The exit is guarded. You'll get caught. They won't. There's nobody there. You'd be screaming for help. The elders. No, Mother had suddenly swung her hand in the air. A flash of steel. Ethani stepped back, feeling fire bursting out of her stomach. It hurts. It hurts, Mummy. Drops of blood fell to the filthy dungeon floor. Ethani shook her head in terror. She couldn't believe this was happening. No, no. Ethani, come back. We must finish this. Come back. But Ethani was already consumed by terror. Groaning from pain, she ran through the dark hallway with no direction. Her mother was screaming something at her back. The girl didn't hear, she just ran. And nobody stopped her on her way. Air stuck in her throat, making her unable to breathe. Her stomach was burning. Ethani didn't stop until she reached the shore. Only there she fell into the sand after losing the last bit of her strength. Why did she do that? Why did she run away? She was destined to die anyway. There was no escape, but doubts took root in the girl's heart. Countless questions tore her up from the inside. What was she supposed to do? Live? Die? Will the curse get her? Or were the mainland sailors right? What to do? Save herself or her family? I think we've already chosen that one. Ethani didn't know. She got lost and couldn't understand anything anymore. Her mind was filled with a thick layer of grey fog. And we should be able to skip again, I think. Alrighty. The next choice is examine the left side of the room, apparently. I think we talked to Esteban last time. Oh my god. Exhaust all options from top to bottom. The first gathering of wild mold and dried rainbow gooseberry. Wild mold? What's this? I shudder just imagining it. Horror stories, ghastly wailings, moonlight from the shed. So scary stories, sounds interesting. I doubt it's tasty though, especially with the ghostly whale's seasoning. The fragrance of pumpkins, old parchment, and dangerous adventures. Old parchment smells good, but I don't think it tastes good. Wow, only... What's a pumpkin? Are they tasty? How are they connected to dangerous adventures? Potion to turn into a squid. A potion? A squid? Mr. Esteban is clearly hiding something. He's clearly a crazy person. Okay, right side of the room. The fragrance of spring's breath and the glow of the first light in the morning. The first rays of sun are cool, but sometimes you just want to sleep until lunch. Contains darkness, sweet taste of chocolate, agony, and the futility of being. Fuck, that got dark fast. The futility of being doesn't exactly sound alluring. Sounds like depression in a cup, but it's intriguing. Taste of the best food you've ever eaten. The most tasty food? Definitely not a seaweed salad. Perhaps something sweet. An evil laugh atop the corpses of your enemies. Oh, what? It's better to leave this tea for a special time. What kind of special time? Oh my god. I don't think I want to see the special time. Alright, what do we got? There's unresolved business. I think we said I don't want to remember. Last time. So, that's good. Things are not so sweet back at home. Are you in trouble? Yes, you may call it that. Why'd you set off on your journey? I don't know. Maybe I should go back after all. I don't want to leave everything like that, but I'm not sure what is the right thing to do. You'll make the right decision. I wish I could. Here, in the world where the inevitably fleeting time has stopped, sometimes the best course of action is to just sit and think things over calmly. The girl tilted her head in response. Yes, you're right. If the time is such an enthusiastic runner, maybe you can run back a bit. I want to redo something. Sadly, time can only move forward. A shame. Man, she sounds really grown up for a 12-year-old. I found the right brand. Let's go. Ethani and Esteban return to the table. Here, one of my favorites. It contains fog above the treetops, an energetic dance of the flame and the beating of a brave heart. Ethani took the cup with both of her hands. The warm drink was soothing, but the moment the girl inhaled the aroma coming from it, her heart started burning with a feeling she couldn't quite describe. Every problem seemed solvable for Ethani if she just put in an ounce of effort. It was as if a flame of courage was burning inside her, filling her trembling hands with power and turning the most horrible fears into blurry images that disappeared from the slightest breeze. Ethani looked at Esteban, stunned. What happened? I felt strange, like I was someone else. You just awakened your courage. Courage? You can't invoke something that doesn't exist inside you. You're very brave, Ethani, and that feeling is rightfully yours. Thank you, Mr. Esteban. You don't have to thank me. Like I already said, your courage was there the whole time, and it's not going away. Yeah, that was a wonderful feeling. For a moment, Ethani thought that now she'd be able to return to the village with her conscience clean and fight the islanders, the elders, or even the vengeful deity itself. I won't lose. Drink it while it's hot. Aha. That's how Ethani became a tenant of the Lighthouse. I think we can skip again. Yes, we can. Alright. So, it is time for another save. Did I click save or load there? Save. Overwrite. And we are going to go with I was scared. I think we did that last time. Yeah, we've done this one. Alright, moving on. And this time we're going to go I don't want anything. I don't think we said that last time. I think we said I want to look. Something's going to happen with this compass, right? What path will you take? Oh, so that is what the colours are. The path of running away. So we need to fill each one up to get the ending. And the reason you get a dead end is if you don't fill any of them up by being indecisive, which is kind of my whole jam. I don't want anything. The girl slipped behind Esteban's back in fear. She seems to be scared of you. Scared? And why, may I ask? No, I'm not scared. Ethani didn't want to talk about promises. Her memory of brother's betrayal was too fresh, and Kima's appearance only added fuel to the fire. The girl could barely keep herself from covering her face with both hands. Let's not discuss it. Neither the promises, nor the ships that her brother loved so much, nor Kima himself. It was too painful. And what do you want to hear about? The other countries, maybe? Ethani felt much more confident after hearing this and stepped forward, revealing herself from Esteban's back. I like the stories about foreign countries, especially about lighthouses. Do you like living at the lighthouse? I do, I love it so much. Is this alright? I know the lighthouses are special for seafarers. Here you can rest and find shelter during the storm. But it's not your home. They're not supposed to feel that way. Am I right, Esteban? There's some truth to your words, yes. Am I doing something wrong? Kima thinks you're getting too attached to the lighthouse and don't think of it as a temporary shelter anymore. I haven't thought about that. It's just I really like it here. That's exactly what I'm talking about. All seafarers are different, and it's up to them to decide what to like and what not to. If you want to say something, don't hold yourself. If you keep spoiling her like that, she'll decide to stay here. Stay? Look how her eyes burned after hearing this. But that won't happen. You can't settle in the lighthouse. Every seafarer has their own path. Now I'm completely lost. We don't know what path Ethani will take, what port she'll pick as her destination. Just let her think and feel the way she wants. Kima's face showed doubts he couldn't hide, and his eyes were asking, do you also let her play with the fire? Esteban showed Ethani a patient smile. You do like the lighthouse, right? I do, I really like it. Do you want to try yourself at being a keeper? Both Ethani and Kima dropped their jaws. A keeper? Are you out of your mind? I'm not. Of course, Ethani won't become like a real keeper of this lighthouse. It's impossible. But I can transfer a tiny bit of my powers to her. But I want. Ethani could never dream of such fortune smiling upon her. What was it like to be a keeper? It must be really cool. Kima curled his lips in disapproval, but remained silent. Esteban walked up to Ethani and took her hand. The girl felt warmth, but not the usual human warmth, but some weightless fire, like the one from the top of a candle. Don't be afraid. Even if you start feeling like you're no longer yourself, remember, my powers will vanish from you pretty soon. I won't get scared. Esteban nodded, and the world before Ethani's eyes was swallowed by amber fire. Ethani blinked once, then twice. Amber fog cleared out, and she saw the faces of smiling Esteban and disgruntled Kima. Ethani felt strange. She wasn't her usual self. Her heart was beating in unison with the trembling of the lampfire. Her inner vision could see beyond the horizon, following the rays of light that cut through the fog. Her body became the lighthouse, and the lighthouse became her body. She was the sea waves, the sand, the still forest at the same time. She was time itself. I don't feel the need to drink tea. It's not part of the Keeper's essentials. So how do you feel, Ethani? Not afraid yet? I'm not, but it feels strange. It's as if I'm floating, but still at the same time. It seems like you understand what a lighthouse is better than I expected. What now? Ethani, what kind of keeper would you like to be? Huh? Well, I don't know. Let's imagine you had a guest. For example, Kima. Kima snorted in reply. What would you say to him? What would you do together? We'd be looking at the stars. There are no stars at the lighthouse, only fog. Ethani stubbornly shook her head. We'd definitely be looking at the stars. Try to imagine your own lighthouse. Imagine the stars. Ethani closed her eyes and concentrated. Stars. She liked stars. It was the only thing that was left for her. They never betrayed her. They didn't torment her. They didn't break promises. They were her only friends. Ethani opened her eyes. And froze in awe. Shining lights were floating in the air. They were different from the lampfire flames, much bigger and didn't look like sparkling beads. Ethani's stars aligned in constellations and floated around proudly, as if to show their creator how cool they were. What a pleasant golden hue. Looks very similar to your fire, but it's different. So cool, it's almost like I'm in the middle of the starry sky. I feel like a flying fish in the sky. Are you happy, Ethani? Of course. Can I look at them a bit more? You can look at them until the powers gifted to you run out. Ethani swirled around among the floating constellations, taking the form of a bird or a fish or something she didn't know the name of. And then she stopped and stared at the stars intently. She was ready to look at them for all eternity. Her heart seemed to warm up just on the sight of those shining lights. Ethani closed her eyes. The sound of the sea lulled her, even though she knew it was the waves. That its waves were unmoving at the lighthouse. The sea was singing in her own world, her own lighthouse, but she felt safe and calm. When Ethani opened her eyes, the stars were already gone. So quick. I think at least a couple of hours have passed. But there's no concept of time at the lighthouse. And for me, a couple of very long and tiring hours have passed. It's time for me to go. Oh, you had to stay longer because of me? Not a big deal. It was quite beautiful. And not as horrible as you expected, huh, Kima? True, every seafarer has their own way, and their own seas. That's right. Kima said his goodbyes and left the lighthouse. Ethani looked at the merchant's back, still strongly impressed by Esteban's wonderful gift, and the world before her eyes were covered by a veil of dreaminess. Skippy time.